What's up, my dudes? It's been about a week since I've recorded a video, maybe a week and a half. And I was planning on posting a video every week. However, here in the Ohio Valley, we have had rain every single day. It's been kind of hard to get out here and get into positions where I can show you guys what I got going on in my garden. The good news is I haven't had to water my plants all week. The bad news is I hope they didn't get too much water. So since the last time you guys were with me, I've gotten quite a bit of growth. So let me go over and show you guys where I removed my cucumbers from. So if you guys remember, I planted some stuff in ground, some stuff in raised beds, and I am finding out that raised beds is the way to go. I will personally never plant in the ground again, unless I do very large scale, because it has not been very good for me so far. So this area over here by my fence doesn't get a lot of light, and it's kind of thick soil, almost a little bit of clay in it. And so, if you can see, there's a couple of holes there because I had to pull up my cucumbers because they're not doing great. And instead, they're getting lots of sun now, and I'm going to show you guys how small those guys are. So they almost are the same size they were a week and a half ago. So there they are, number one and number two. You can see that I had some pests bugging my my cucumbers. Some of the leaves were eaten away. So I want to say that those were the first cucumbers that I put in the ground. This right here will be self-explanatory when I show you. About 3 days later, I put these three guys in the ground, and they're massive. They got like all the leaves going out. They'll probably get like their little filler in later day, like their little filler thing. It's like a little thing that grabs a hold of things, and that's how they grow up in vines. So yeah, my beds are doing much better, much better than my in-ground stuff is going. Since last time, I have pruned back my dogwood tree a little bit. It's beautiful, be great, it'll get big, but it's in the way of my garden. I also put up this trellis guy. I wish I would have had someone with another hand recording some of the things as I did it, so you guys could see how I did my trellis. These guys, they are posts. Voila. I got them driven into the ground, straight into my beds on both sides. I got a 2x4. It's not kid friendly. I know there's nails pointing out. I'm up to date on my tetanus shot. I'll be all right. So I buried it in the ground. You're gonna want to make sure you got it deep enough so that it's sturdy. Right now, there's almost no wind resistance because it's a chain link fence and a couple posts. But as the vines begin to grow up, hopefully, that will add wind resistance. And as all the leaves are there, the wind blows on it, it could blow your stuff over. So make sure you are secure. So I took some chain link fence, just snipped the bottoms, and I zip tied. I did have these guys going on right here. You see, I had like this piece of metal tied onto there, but metal doesn't do great. So I got some zip ties going around. You can see these little knobs right here. Kind of like, it really didn't want to go anywhere anyway. That's just a little extra security. Because these knobs right here, the chain link gets caught on it, and it's kind of, it just grabs it, yeah. So, but like I said, I zip tied those down, give it a little bit more security in that. These posts are really cheap. They're like $4 or $5 a piece. At a big box store, you might be able to get them cheaper somewhere more local. I live in the city, so local places don't have as much of a variety as some of your country local places might have. So yeah, bought 4 of these guys right here. They are cheap. The tool that it gives you to install them is relatively expensive compared to the posts themselves. I spent less than $20 on the posts, and I spent $38 on the post driver. There are ways you can do it without that, but I am mostly doing the garden all by myself, so it makes it a single person job. It makes it really easy. So as you can see, when I transplanted these, I put these guys on this side of the fence, and next year I'll do that on both sides, because if I need to get in here and work with this plant or check out or prune or anything that arises with that plant, I have complete access. Whereas on this side, I kind of have to go in or walk around and reach over. So yeah, that's the biggest thing that I've done to my garden to improve some of the space. Hopefully all the stuff goes vertical. I'm still learning a lot. And like I said before, if you see me doing something that I need to stop doing, let me know. If you want to give me some tips or advice, shout them out, put them in the comments. I check those. So this is really exciting. I'm really excited about this. I came out here a couple days ago and I had one little mater going on. Now, look at that. I got at least 3 on this plant in that one spot. And it's starting to bush up really bad. I definitely planted these too close, but you live, you learn. I'm not going to do that this close next year. There are more tomatoes growing on that one. It's just so bushy. I need to prune it back. So if you're growing tomatoes, if you can see these leaves right here, anywhere your tomato plant touches the ground needs to either be tied up or clipped. And I'm going to do that as soon as I get done with this video. And when I clip it, I am going to go follow this all the way up to right here, and I will clip it right where it meets the main branch. You can kind of see where I have clipped things in the past, right there, right there. Pruning your plants keeps them healthy. Now that's my early girl tomatoes, which I've learned is an indeterminate plant, which means it will grow until either the frost kills it or some type of exterior force kills it. It'll just keep going. This guy over here is my Roma, who beat early girl by about a week on flowering. However, my Roma is not producing as much fruit as early, which if you read the package on Romas are supposed to take longer to produce fruit anyway. So that doesn't surprise me. But also I found out, I bought Romas because it was a cool name, but after researching Romas, I don't think I'll plant them again, just because they are such a thick, meaty potato or tomato. Yeah, but even on my little Roma, I got a little guy going. Next year, I think that I may do a couple early girls and a couple other larger tomatoes that are more of like the slicing type that you can come out here and make a tomato sandwich with, you know. So this is my other early girl. Got a couple of fruits going on here. Got at least 4 going. Those I'm super excited about. Growing up, I hated tomatoes. I would eat them in like chili or something where they're mixed in. You can't really taste them. But not in salads or on sandwich. I started trying them again maybe a year ago. Turns out I do like tomatoes. And from what I hear, tomatoes growing in your garden will taste a lot different than the tomatoes growing wherever they grow them for Kroger, whatever grocery store. Those mass-produced tomatoes apparently have a different flavor. This other YouTuber from Arkansas has given me tips on tomatoes and flavor in tomatoes. Apparently, inconsistent watering. First off, I've grown tomatoes in the past, or have known people to grow them in the past, and they've cracked up really bad, and I've never known. I was just like, oh, people don't know how to grow. They need to go to Kroger. But apparently that is mostly from inconsistent watering. So whatever you're watering your tomatoes, make sure you keep it consistent. Make sure it's getting plenty of fluids and on a pretty regular cycle. Multitasking. Got a grill going while I do this video, guys. Yeah, so make sure you're watering your plants regularly. Another tip that I've learned about some maters is if you let them show the first signs of dehydration. I can't show you what that looks like because we've been getting rain all week. In fact, if you want to look at this leaf right here, if you see how it's droopy, from what I see and what I hear, droopiness is a sign of overwatering. But if they start to shrivel, that's the first sign of underwatering. And that stresses out the tomatoes. But if you let them get stressed out, they apparently release some kind of enzyme that makes them taste better. So that's something I'm going to start backing off watering my tomatoes until they show signs. We're kind of stuck in a weather pattern now where it's just your typical summer type weather pattern. It rains when it wants to in the afternoon. You may get poured on, you may get a sprinkle, you may get nothing. All right, back to my other plants. So my ghost guy over here in the raised bed got attacked by something. You can see this leaf right here and got a hole in this guy. I see an ant running around, so I want to check it for aphids. And you can do that by turning these guys up and checking the bottom of the leaves. And there's one right there. This little bugger. See if I can get that guy. It's right by my thumb. That little brown guy will eat your plants. Best thing to do is wash them off with soap and water. You can get a simple spray bottle, put some soap in it, spray them down. Don't do it in the direct sunlight because you can burn your plants. But yeah, spray them down. Apparently aphids don't like to be clean and they die. Also, fact, ants farm aphids. So yes, the little ants running around in your garden have domesticated animals. And they're called aphids and they eat all your plants. So I don't like ants, I don't like aphids. Let's see. Showed you my maters. These guys, I forget what these are. They're either cantaloupe or squash. Spaghetti squash. Ha! Found it. Butternut squash. So I'm going to have to check my resources when I get it off here. But if you look, it looks pretty good, but it's starting to get some yellowing. It's starting to probably be eaten by, I see an ant, which means there's aphids. It's just, they go hand in hand. But if you look down at the bottom, I got some yellow leaves going on. If I remember correctly, that is a sign of overwatering. when your leaves start to turn yellow. My cantaloupe, got some mess from my fence that I put up all in my yard. Don't be sloppy in your garden. Pick your trash out of your garden. So yeah, my cantaloupe, that guy down there, he seems to be doing all right. My shishito peppers, still no show of growth. But they do got a flower, some flowers going on, so that means they hopefully will be producing something soon. My cherry maters, got this. This is a regular cherry. This guy back here is a regular cherry. This guy is shooting up as it grows. It is growing. It may be the fastest growing plant that I've had. It is, I keep forgetting, it is a sun sugar tomato. So these guys, they grow fast. Can't wait. All of those guys, so all of my small tomatoes, like my cherry tomatoes, all of those plants started showing flowers much sooner than my big dudes. So don't know if that's typical. It's my first year out here. So, oh yeah, strawberries. Got some of those going. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I got to look into strawberry plants. But I want to show you my triumphs as well as my failures. That's my strawberry plant. And that's my strawberry plant. Both look great until you try to find fruit. You pull back the leaves, and you see the fruit. They started out bright white, looking healthy, and then they just turn brown. I don't know if it's the heat. I don't know if it's pests. The other one really hasn't started producing yet, and this one's only produced 2 fruits, and they both went. So as they start to grow, I definitely need to nip it in the bud and figure out what's going on with that, because I want some strawberries. Especially strawberries are part of the Dirty Dozen, which some organic group puts that out every year, saying that that's one of the really dirty plants if you're not eating organic. So trying to live healthier, trying to eat better. I got my zucchinis going. This one I'm super excited about. The other one, first off, they're both in the ground. I'm not planting in the ground ever again. But if I were to plant, I would never plant in this position again. Because if you look up, trees, which means if you look down, bird poop. I'm not a fan of birds pooping on my food. So I may use that plant as a learning experience. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Haven't checked it out in the middle for a while. It's got some flowers starting to show. So that's awesome. They both have some aphid damage going on, so I'm going to have to come out here with some soap and water. But I'm going to show you guys a few cool things. So these guys are little flowers that are starting to pop up. And if you look, this is hard to do on a phone, but let's see. Okay, you see that right there? That's going to bloom into a flower. You see that little fuzzy thing? That's actually a baby fruit. That's what's going to grow. That's really weird. I found out that with squash, zucchini, that type of plant, if you look before they're even fertilized, the female flower already has a fruit. And once it gets fertilized, it'll do its thing and make a big fruit. Then you can eat it. So I'm about to show you guys my pepper plants. If you guys remember my first video, you can go back and watch. The first set of plants I'm going to show you is the ones I was super proud of because they're doing awesome. And yeah, so these are those. If you look, their flower hasn't opened yet. They're starting to have little fruits on top. At least that's what I think fruits on peppers look like. So you see that guy right there? That guy right there? Those are little peppers. So this was the group that I was really proud of, and now not so much. So if you look for scale, this is the same size box as the ones that were puny and not doing well. Boom. So significantly larger, these guys. You can also see the flowers. They got multiple flowers that have already opened up. So I cut back my stuff a while back, my spicy area with all my spices, and they came back. Plants want to grow, and that's what they're doing. They're growing wild, fast. I don't even know what to do with some of this stuff. I'm just trying to make it not look horrendous. So if you go back to the first video, you'll see a bunch of stubs in this area because I trimmed it almost all the way to the ground. Now I got some clovers growing, which are just basically weeds. I didn't plant them. Yeah, I got a bunch of little flies going around that hopefully are pollinating things. But if they're eating things, I'm glad it's wildflowers and not fruit. Because you can see, like, we got wildflowers popping up in our spicy area. I don't know what they did. I love what they did. I don't know what they did, but it's great. But we got this stuff going back. I get confused. One of these is basil, and the other one is, I forget. Lemon balm. I just smelt it. This is definitely lemon balm. My wife takes and puts this in water and kind of infuses it almost into a cold water, almost like a cold brew tea. And it's just like fresh lemon tea. Speaking of bolting and plants that we don't know what are, in the middle of my spicy stuff, I got these guys, which is right next to this guy, which someone said was Brussels sprouts. This garden, I'm just like, because I haven't planted any of it, I'm just trying to take care of it the best I can. Maybe it'll pop up some Brussels sprouts, maybe it won't, I don't know. Got some mint going still. Mint will always come back. I've weeded this area out of mint probably 15 times, and it just comes back, and it comes back in new places, and it just keeps going. I got these guys going on again. I forget what they are, but they're definitely a spice. They're really good in soups. Got some sage. Yeah. So I'm going to show you guys my lettuce, and then I'm going to let you guys go enjoy your day. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're up to, make the best of what you got. Yeah, so I don't have a whole lot of land. And a message I want to send to you guys, if you don't think you have enough land, you're wrong. You can grow plants, you can grow fruit, you may not be able to grow a lot, but even if you're in an apartment without a yard, like, you can at least put some spices in the window and get some spices going, you know? But if you have any kind of yard, do it. Let's see. Oh yeah, bolting lettuce. So, let's see. I don't know if you guys know what lettuce is supposed to look like, but if you don't know what it's supposed to look like, it's fine, because this guy is what lettuce is supposed to look like. And so, like, with this lettuce, we've cut the outer leaf off a couple times for like a sandwich, but we really haven't pulled more than 5 or 6 leaves out of the 5 plants altogether. I pulled one straight up because it was looking disgusting, and it just sickened me. But so when things start to bolt, it's now going to be reaching up and trying to grow as tall as it can, so its flower will stand out, which means it stops growing that tight, compact ball like that head of lettuce you're used to, and it grows this. So you can see the stem. It's like growing like a regular leaf. It's not compact at all. This guy is same thing. This guy, they're all growing straight up. So they're bolting. When that happens, eating them's no good anymore. When things bolt, they start to turn bitter. They're not the best eating anymore. It won't kill you, but it'll be on the bitter side of what you're wanting. Yeah, so I think I'm going to let them continue to do their thing, let them bolt, as people say, and get some seeds from them. So I won't even have to buy seeds. I can germinate all my own seeds from my own lettuce. And then I can get some radishes going in there. Radishes, carrots, onions. I think this is going to be my radish, carrot, onion bed once these guys give their life up and give me some seeds. Well, that is it for today and this week. Sorry it took a while to get my this video out. It was just every chance I had to be in the garden was yucky and rainy and downpours, and I didn't want to do it. Anyway, I hope this video finds you well. I hope you're learning. I hope you're encouraged. And I hope that you start growing your own food. All right. Peace out, my dudes.